You and the kid laid Coco down on a nearby table. Tsugumi and I put the researcher down in a chair, slowly.
What?
There were a few ordinary beds in the examination room, and the same kind of LMRI that we had found in Lemu's infirmary. There were numerous medical instruments that looked like things that you might only see in a science fiction movie. I wondered what in the world they were for. I had no idea. Hey, you. Where is that high-pressure oxygen thing that Sora was talking about?
How should I know?
Tsugumi, what should we do?
Well, we'd have to look for it. Never supposed to think about this place. Wait!
The researcher coughed as he spoke. Hey, don't move. Are you okay?
Jesus. I've been better. But at least I'm alive.
With his eyes closed, he raised his hand weakly in response.
This smell. This is IBF. So I'm back where I started.
So you were working here? Well then, there's something I want to ask you. We're looking for something called a high-pressure oxygen treatment device.
Does he look
We've come as... Go ahead.
Does he look in any position to be answering questions?
We've come as far as the examination room, but we don't have a clue what to look for. Can you help us, please?
Oxygen treatment. Yeah, you're looking for the pods. There should be some alloy capsules with a mat set inside of them. They look like a bunch of cylinders stuck to a pillar. You see them?
Yeah, they're right in front of me.
That's them.
Alright, calm down. Hang in there. We found them, so don't waste your energy talking anymore, okay? New blood appeared on the researcher's closed hand as he wiped his mouth.
Just take a look at the manual. Okay, freaking Jesus.
Then stop doing that voice!
I can't! Just take a look at the manual. They should be easy to operate.
Okay, I gotcha. The strength left the researcher's hand. Just before he collapsed, I grabbed onto his shoulder to support his body. Let's put him in a pod, and Coco too.
Yeah.
Tsugumi and I got on either side of the researcher and supported him. We brought him over to where the 3 pods were. When I pressed the button on the side of one, its hatch opened. I put him down gently inside. When I pressed the button again, the capsule pod closed again silently. The kid and you laid Coco down in another pod. The hatch to the pod closed soon after. Did you find the manual?
Yeah, this is the control panel.
You started operating a terminal a short distance away.
High pressure oxygen treatment set.
The screens on the monitors attached to the tubes flickered, and both of the pods seemed to be functioning normally.
Should do it.
Okay. The condition of the people inside the pods was monitored and appeared on the control panel. Blood pressure, heart rate, respiration rate, the expressions on their faces were even visible.
Ooh.
I watched them for a few minutes. Coco and the researcher, whose name we didn't know. It was a slow process, but they both seemed to be gradually returning to normal.
I'm so relieved. Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah! My one line in 5 minutes.
Looks like we made it in time. We let out a collective sigh of relief. It seemed as if we had escaped the worst, for the moment. Well, we don't have time to hang around, you know? We didn't know if the situation here at Ever was any different than Lemu. There might be other survivors, or a way out, even communications. We could possibly even find information about TB, Total Biscuit. It was best to search as much as time would allow. Everyone agreed, so Tsugumi, the kid, and I went looking around Ever. You had the most medical knowledge, so she stayed in the examination room with Pee-Pee to look after Coco and the researcher. Because we were unfamiliar with the area, the 3 of us set out together to look around. We walked all around IBF, but since there were only a few places, there wasn't much to see. Almost all of the corridors had been blocked off. There were so many doors that didn't open. and I tried forcing open one of the doors, a terrible smell started pouring out, so I hurriedly closed it again. From what I had seen during the brief moment the door was open, a few researchers covered in blood had died clawing at their throats. Damn. I didn't really want to think of what had happened there.
I do.
It wasn't hard to imagine that the situation had been the same or worse than what had happened at Lemieux. Another room was empty of people, and there were a few computer terminals there. Operating the terminals, we were also able to scan through some of the information left there. There was some information about TIF, Blau, or gonorrhea. Name, gonorrhea. Symptoms, fever, chills, headache, aching muscles, loss of appetite, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pains, etc.
You can't put etc. for freaking symptoms. Like, oh yeah, a living is a symptom, isn't it?
As it progresses, the patient begins to hemorrhage from the mouth, gums, conjunctiva,
Anus.
nasal cavity, the skin, as well as the alimentary canal, and has a high probability of dying. Death rate after contracting the disease is over 85%. Symptoms first appear similar that of a common cold, and while they may temporarily improve, the patient's condition will again rapidly deteriorate, resulting in hemorrhaging. Incubation period, normally 2 to 7 days. Ellipses. After that point, all the data was corrupted, and it was not clear what else was written. Other than that, we came across some interesting information by accident. In the corner of a business log, IBF visitor registry, Coco Yagami. Coco's name had been listed. Looking further into the file was what seemed like a personal memo written by somebody. I get to see my daughter for the first time in a while. Her school is on vacation, so she has a 10-day break. I've been trapped for so long in this tin can doing virus research that I'm jealous. That aside, when I told her that special permission had been granted for her to come down and see IBF, she sent me a happy reply saying she would. We've exchanged mail every once in a while, but I wonder how long it's been since we've actually seen each other. I'll just be happy if she hasn't forgotten what I look like. T.Y.
Ty. Thanks.
T.Y. I thought they were probably the initials of Mr. Yagami's. Coco's dad.
TK.
Which meant that Coco had been to IBF before May 1st, to meet her father. We didn't find any other survivors in IBF. The kid, Sagumi, and I all went back to the examination room. You, how are they doing?
Yeah, it looks like they're doing okay for now.
Okay, so this probably all happened on purpose. Like, everything shutting down in order to stop this outbreak.
Yeah.
You know what's happening on purpose?
Your mom.
Your existence.
You look tired as she sat down and faced the
Disagree
box
with me?
control.
What?
And I looked at the monitor showing vital signs. Blood pressure, heart rate, respiration rate, they all seem to have stabilized for the moment.
Oh, yeah. Actually, check the medical database on this computer. But
I hesitantly asked you, yeah, did you find something?
yep. It looks like they still haven't found any definite way to treat the Chief Blau virus. Well, the symptoms can be temporarily treated by injecting the orange serum. Otherwise, the only option is hope for a small chance it'll clear up by itself.
Oh, that sucks.
Huh? What do you mean?
You had trouble finding the words, so Sagumi took over for her.
Well, basically, if Coco is going to heal, her immune system is going to have to work a little harder. We brought her to the treatment pod. All we can do now is hope. Yeah, that's all we can do.
No.
Yes.
God damn.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Coco isn't going to get any better.
The kid looked like he was about to cry. Nobody said that. Whether she gets better or not, she's up to Coco's will to live.
LOL.
The kid walked up next to the capsule pod.
Coco.
He latched firmly onto the pod, as though he would embrace it, and started to cry.
You still don't know how much this pod is going to help Coco.
You murmured softly as she read the life signs on the monitor.
This pod can only... This pod can also do laser line disinfecting as well as simple surgery, in addition to oxygen treatments. Depending on how you use it, even cryogenic suspension.
What's that, you?
I'm not sure. They're just in the matter. We don't really know what's going to happen to us. All we can do is have faith and wait. Ellipses.
Ellipsis.
Toohee!
That's a pretty happy whine.
What beeped? A sharp alarm sounded from control panel monitor. Not knowing what it was, we all looked at the monitor at once. The kid ran over to where we were. An agonized expression came over the face of the researcher. He thrashed and contorted inside of the cramped capsule.
Why am I screaming?
Hey, mister! The researcher coughed violently and clawed at his throat. His hand in the area around his mouth was stained red. The color quickly drained from his skin. His breathing became shallow and he groaned in a low voice.
No! I can't believe this condition would change like this!
Hey, mister, stop grabbing at your throat like that. You'll crash it.
No.
Stop. Stop right now. He slowly lowered the hands, which had been thrashing at his throat with. Hey, mister, are you all right?
No! Yes, I'm alright!
Then he just says, no.
No, this is far. It's far. It's a bigot.
The researcher was barely breathing. He was trying to breathe. He let out a gasp, but he wasn't able to bring in air.
So this is my reward. Oh, exclamation mark, exclamation point!
Ellipses. You pored over the manual and desperately searched the control panel, but there was nothing she could do. There was no way for her to keep him alive. She pounded on the manual, then placed both elbows on the panel and covered her face with her hands. Alright, dude. Let's get a little more serious here.
I can't.
She burst into tears.
Ellipses.
Scooby and the kid gazed at the monitor with strained expressions. The researcher's vital signs were getting weaker.
My daughter. Daughter. Take care of her.
He looked as though he was smiling, and his eyes closed. He would never move again. The life readings from the capsule pod went blank. We turned it off to stop the beep. I turned it off. It's broken, damn it. An electronic alarm sounded. What seemed like forever. Ellipses. We couldn't save him. We didn't have the power to save that man, whose name we didn't even know. Ellipses.
Ellipses. Ellipses. What the frick? The kids are pretty cool ellipses. PP, you got this? Okay.
I reached on my hand and turned off
it's still
the
going.
lamp. I turned it off! How is Coco?
Cow.
Coco.
Cow. Normal?
You replied in a voice filled with tears.
Oh, how do I feel a voice with tears?
Just, kind of sob a little.
Pretend someone just jizzed in your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
No! Be sad! Be sad. Just be sad as you read it.
Be sad someone jizzed in your mouth.
I'm happy. Sorry.
God damn it.
There seems to be anything wrong for the moment.
Okay, thanks. We'll have to make sure he gets a proper burial.
Oh yeah, freaking bury him in the floor. Blast a hole in the floor, just put him off, yeah. Yeah.
Everyone was motionless for a while. Proof of how serious the situation was lay right before our eyes. But time rolled ever forward. We didn't have any more room to play around. Dragging my legs, which seemed suddenly very heavy, I went to check all the areas in IBF once again. We had to find a way out as soon as possible.